There's a hard truth. Most people don't want to face you can't save everyone. No matter how big your heart is, how much you give, or how many chances you offer, some people don't want to be helped, and if you keep trying to rescue the wrong people, you'll drown right beside them. Today I'm going to tell you about 5 types of people you simply cannot help, no matter how much you care. And once you learn to recognize them, you'll stop wasting your time, your energy, and your peace on people who refuse to save themselves. 1. The victim. This is the person who always has a story, always has a reason, and never takes responsibility. Life is always happening to them, never because of them. They live in a constant state of poor me. When you try to offer solutions, they reject them. When you try to empower them, they find new ways to stay powerless. Why? Because their identity is built on being the victim. It gets them attention, it gets them sympathy, it allows them to avoid accountability. No matter what tools you give them, they won't use them. They'll sit in the burning building, complain about the smoke, but refuse to walk out the door. And if you're not careful, they'll pull you into the flames with them. You can offer support, but you cannot live their life for them. Helping a victim who refuses to act is like pouring water into a bucket full of holes. Recognize this pattern early, set boundaries, and step back. You cannot help someone who doesn't want to stand on their own 2 feet. 2. The know-it-all. They have advice for everyone, but take advice from no one. They talk more than they listen. They act like they've got life figured out, even when their own life is in shambles. You try to guide them, they interrupt. You offer perspective, they dismiss it. Deep down, they're insecure, but their ego is louder than their willingness to grow. You can't pour knowledge into a cup that's already full, and you can't teach someone who refuses to learn. These people are stuck not because they lack opportunities, but because they refuse to admit they don't know everything. They confuse confidence with arrogance and wisdom with pride. Your energy is better spent on people who are humble enough to learn. The know-it-all will waste your time, drain your patience, and reject your help before you even finish offering it. Sometimes the best way to teach them is to step back and let reality do the teaching for you. 3. The excuse maker. For every solution, they've got a but. For every opportunity, they've got a reason why it won't work. They are professional excuse makers. You can show them the path, but they'll tell you why they can't walk it. They cling to limitations because it's safer than taking responsibility. Excuse makers love the comfort zone. They'll spend hours explaining why something can't be done, instead of spending 5 minutes trying. And here's the hard truth. You can't help someone who's more committed to their excuses than their growth. You can offer them tools, but they'll leave them untouched. You can give them a map, but they'll fold it and sit still. If you keep investing in them, they'll drain your hope, not because they can't change, but because they won't. Save your energy for the people who look for ways, not ways out. 4. The energy vampire. You know this person. Every conversation is heavy. Every interaction leaves you exhausted. They feed off your time, your emotions, and your attention, but they give nothing back. They thrive on drama, chaos, and negativity. The energy vampire doesn't want solutions. They want your reaction. They want you emotionally entangled in their mess. And the more you give, the more they take. You'll find yourself solving problems that aren't yours, carrying emotional baggage that isn't yours, and burning out in battles that were never meant for you. You cannot help someone who's addicted to the cycle of chaos. Protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. When you cut off their emotional supply, you give them the chance to face their own reality. That's the only way they'll ever grow. 5. The unaccountable. These are the people who blame everyone else. It's always their boss, their family, their circumstances, never them. They don't take ownership of their choices, their failures, or their actions. And if you try to help them, you'll quickly become their next target to blame. They want the reward without the responsibility. They expect change without effort. And when things don't go their way, they look for someone to blame, often the very person who tried to help them. You can't build accountability for someone else. It has to come from within. The moment you recognize this pattern, step away. Don't let their lack of responsibility become your emotional burden. You can inspire, you can model the way, but you cannot carry someone who refuses to carry themselves. Final words. The harsh reality is this: not everyone is ready to be helped. Some people don't want solutions, they want attention. Some don't want to grow, they want to stay exactly where they are. If you keep trying to save them, you'll lose yourself in the process. Your energy is precious. Invest it in people who show up, take responsibility, and are willing to change. Don't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. Know the difference between compassion and self-destruction. That's not cold, it's clarity.